Hello, community, and happy Thursday to all of us. We are glad that you're able to make it to today's community event. As always, we're always looking forward to these events. We're always very thrilled and looking forward to these events as they give us the opportunity to interact, to engage, to bring awareness to our industry that we're so passionate about, and most importantly, to grow, to learn, to be empowered through information, education, and current events. And these all serve as a purpose for us to grow and understand that this technology is so much, there's so much more capable, it's so much more capable to do than what we see right now. Things that we see right now are just the tip of the iceberg. And like the title gave it away, mainstream adoption and stablecoin infrastructures. We often talk about how the App Store changed everything. It wasn't the hardware itself, the smartphone, because there were smartphones before iPhone, but it was the App Store that made the difference, because App Store allowed existing businesses, existing infrastructures to adapt and to deploy applications on that marketplace and use both the internet and the mobile technology, which was the latest at that time in the early 2000s. And the way things go mainstream is by mass adoption of existing institutions, right? Regardless of the industry. So, and this is where this topic is going to lead us today, community. We're going to not just talk, but actually highlight which mainstream industries, specifically which companies, which organizations, which countries specifically are really adopting to this new technology, and how stablecoin infrastructures are being launched and rolled out, actually starting today, this month. And this is exactly the topic of today, community. So we look forward to discussing all of this with you. But before we do that, once more, welcome to today's community event on this beautiful Thursday. We always have various events throughout the week. Today, obviously on Thursday, we have it on YouTube. We also do have sessions like yesterday on Facebook, led by Queen Debbie and Queen Val. And also Fridays and Sundays specifically and exclusively for the Queens. Also, if you are a Queen and you want to be part of these sessions, I highly recommend. And then, of course, we also have Saturdays and Mondays on Twitter Space that we are very active as well. And even more, right now, Queen Lathi and Queen Debbie also had a very successful meeting today, all the way in our continent of Africa. And they were out there really encouraging, promoting, and talking and educating about the blockchain technology, specifically Bull Run ecosystem. So I want to thank you, Queen, so much for going above and beyond, for preaching the good news in regards to the blockchain technology and the Bull Run ecosystem. So Queen Lathi and Queen Debbie, thank you for going above and beyond, and for educating and informing your community about this ecosystem. So all thanks to you, and all power to you. We appreciate your efforts very, very much. With all that said, community, there's quite a bit to cover today, so let's cut to the chase. Before we do that, let's not forget about our daily activities that we are participating in, which is our tweets, right? All tweets are out, Killer Whale Survivor and Bull Run. So The reason why we engage with these tweets on a daily basis is to bring awareness, to stay relevant, and to inform and educate the industry and our ecosystem. So the more we engage with these tweets by simply liking and retweeting them, it goes a long way, and it reaches as many people as possible. It brings exposure, it brings awareness, and that's what these sessions are all about. That's why we do these daily activities. If you have some extra time, you can even comment down below. We all like to read comments. It's just our human nature, right? And that's where the meat and potatoes are anyway. That's where all the fun is also. So let's engage with these as much as we can consistently so that it will reach as many people as possible. So with all of that said, community, if you're tuning in for the first time and you're not part of our community yet, follow us on subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have Queen Val here has posted all the Telegram links to Survivor, Killer Whale, and Bull Run. Feel free to join, be part of our community, even if it's simply just to be on current events and learn about the industry, the crypto industry, and also about how money works, how our monetary system works, how inflation works, how inflation affects liquidity, boom and bust cycles, and so on and so forth. These are fundamentals. These are basic knowledge that we should have, and we owe it to ourselves. If we call ourselves crypto enthusiasts, we should know more than just flipping meme coins on Uniswap, right? So with all that said, let's jump into today's session, and let's kickstart today's session. It's a very interesting topic, mainstream adoption. There's a lot of adoption going on, and stablecoin infrastructures are being built left, right, and center. And while we're being distracted with all these noise around us in the real world, let's not lose sight of what's important and what's going to move us forward in this industry, right? So as always, let's kickstart by just briefly going through CoinMarketCap. Like we always say, the value is not in the market cap, but the value lies in the liquidity, right? There should be a list like this, but with projects, crypto projects listed based on the liquidity that they have and not based on their market cap, right? So, and based on the liquidity to market cap ratio, that would be great, right? We would be right amongst the top if that was the case. So let's always remember, it's not the market cap, but it's the liquidity that really, really matters, right? So with all of that said, community, we see that the fear and greed index is neutral right now. The markets are green. We are up by 2%. And as we know, there's quite a bit happening or about to happen this upcoming weeks and months. Most importantly, affecting us directly is on May 7th, is the upgrade, the Dankun upgrade, the Spectre upgrade that is coming for the Ethereum blockchain. And that's something that is going to ease a lot of things. Just for example, we'll be able to pay fees, not just based on Ethereum alone, but for example, with our stablecoins, USDC, you'll be able to go through transactions or execute transactions, even if you don't have Ethereum in your wallet. So that's a major upgrade. And then, of course, the ease of staking and also the amount of staking, but that involves the validators. So with all of that said, let's jump straight to today's session, and let's kickstart by having an overview of what's happening right now. So the current president is going through his first 100 days, and the industry, the crypto industry specifically, are celebrating the fact that we finally have a pro-crypto administration that is is completely different than the prior one, right? Led by another individual. This is something that the crypto industry is experiencing. There's a lot of lawsuits that have been dropped. There's more crypto-friendly environments that we're experiencing right now. And even though not everything is literally put into the pen and paper, but what we've been experiencing so far in the last 100 days have been really pro-crypto, right? We've seen major steps. However, the most important ones that affect the proof of stake blockchains such as Ethereum are yet to come in regards to laws that are need to be put in place for everything to work accordingly. Specifically, stablecoin regulations, staking, approvals for the Ethereum ETFs, and also more clarity in regards to what is a security, what is a commodity, and who is the regulating body. Is it the SEC or the commodities department? So those things need to be addressed. We need more clarity on that in that department. However, the good news is we have a pro-crypto administration, and these things that need to be put into law usually take time. However, they are in full effect. Also, what I want us to understand is that today, globally, is a day known as, it's an International Workers' Day, also known as Labor Day, right? May 1st. And you might ask yourself, why is this so important? Why are we highlighting this? Most of us were able to have a relaxed day today and have a day off internationally, right? And why is this so significant? It's because today a lot of major things also happen in the crypto space, and as we progress throughout this throughout this session, we are about to find out exactly what. So happy Labor Day for everyone that got a day off. I hope that you are able to spend it nicely and peacefully with your loved ones. With that said, let's get to the crypto. As always, we like to always start with an overview, give us a mental mind map, and set a stage so that we have something to hold on to mentally as we progress throughout this session. So this is an article that really aged very, very well. It's an article roughly 1.5 years ago, right? This was in November 2023. So roughly 1.5 years ago. And why is this so significant? It's because what was said was so significant. Here is an individual that said something so profound, and here we are 1.5 years later. We're in the middle of all of this that was said. So let's look at what was said. This was a bold statement that cryptocurrencies have failed the test of digital money. Simple, straightforward, to the point. And who said this was a managing director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, right? Specifically, his name is Ravi Menon. He's the managing director, like we said, of the Monetary Authority of Singapore. So he said that crypto has performed poorly as a medium of exchange or store of value. Why? Because what we said at the beginning, let's go back here. Remember what we said at the very beginning? That there should be a website like this, but it should be called coin liquidity to market cap ratio, or coin liquidity list, right? So you list projects based on the liquidity and liquidity to market cap ratio, and not just based on their market cap. And this is why cryptocurrencies failed and are failing, because they're missing the whole point of cryptocurrencies or the new finance. If you want to revolutionize this new industry in finance, the whole point is to see how we can gather liquidity. It's all about liquidity. And this is also the reason why the whole world is still waiting for the Feds to finally cut interest rates so that liquidity can be introduced into the markets and the bull run can kickstart, right? So liquidity plays a major role, and this is exactly the point that, the managing director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore was making here. This was the point that I was making, that crypto has failed or performed poorly as a medium of exchange or store of value simply because lack of liquidity. That's the point. Let's just briefly look at something else. Basically, stable coins. This was the statement. Stable coins, not crypto, will be part of the financial ecosystem in the future. Again, this was 1.5 years ago. 1.5 years ago. So who's this individual that literally called this? He saw this coming 1.5 years ago, and here we are. We're in the middle of all of this, right? So best thing is to just do a quick Google search, and then we'll see who Ravi Menon is, right? Again, he's the managing director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And most importantly, he's one of those guys that speak, individuals that speak behind closed doors once a year in a small, snowy ski village in Switzerland, right? At the World Economic Forum. So he's one of those individuals that are very well connected. They're very close to the sources. So when individuals like they speak, you need to listen, right? And they were telling us that it's stable coins that are the future of finance, right? Fast forward here today. So now that we know that he's associated with the World Economic Forum, let's look at what else is the World Economic Forum saying about the future, right? What else are they saying? And here we are again. This is actually just 6 months ago article, just 6 months, or barely 6 months. So if we see here, we realize that the World Economic Forum was literally spelling everything out to us, telling us how tokenization is transforming global finance and investments. It's right in front of our faces. So we hear, obviously, these individuals were in the same room, in the same meeting, and had the same memo, right? So this is just another confirmation by the World Economic Forum directly what the individual earlier was saying in regards to what's the future, because stablecoins are tokenized versions of the US dollar, right? So this is transforming finance and investments. What else do we need to understand is that tokenization of financial assets, where on the blockchain, is gaining momentum at an institutional and governmental level. Like we always say, we don't like to just take an article for its word. We'll have to fact check all of these things. We'll fact check all of this. So another thing I want us to understand is that now that we understand that stablecoins, tokenizations, real world assets is the future of investments, of finance, and so on and so forth, the business case for tokenization is straight and to the point. Smart contracts. That's it. Smart contracts, that's what it's all about, because that's what the digital ledger technology is all about. It's about smart contracts, right? Smart contracts are automated processes. You don't have to go through tireless, repetitious moves and tasks. You can just write it in codes. It's a programming language. It automates things, and it removes and eliminates middlemen, be it the government, be it institutions, so on and so forth. That's what this technology is all about. It empowers us to have a decentralized wallet that we interact directly with the protocol, with a smart contract. No intermediary needed, no restrictions whatsoever. What else? Also, this shortens the settlement cycles, right? Meaning we don't have to be limited to Monday to Friday business banking hours, but and also wait for 3 to 5 business days until transactions go through, while as they are right now through traditional channels, right? So another thing that is very important, again, improved liquidity. That's the whole point. So we're coming full circle. Remember, like the way we started this session? We started this session highlighting that the whole point of cryptocurrency is not its market cap, it's liquidity. That's what it's supposed to be. Because blockchain technology came out of a financial crisis in 2008. It came out of that. So trust was a challenge. Trust in institutions, governments, whatsoever. It was a challenge. And this is what the blockchain technology using smart contracts enables us to work trustlessly, right? And another challenge was, like we said until now, inflation, liquidity, debt. Those are challenges that the blockchain technology is addressing. So let's go back here and continue. So besides improved liquidity and shortened settlement cycles, we also, in short, that means it's more efficient. right? We have a more efficient market and lower systemic risks, because where there's less humans interactions, there's less mistakes. So this will also satisfy the demand for the 24/7 market operations. However, to achieve all of this, improved liquidity, shortened settlement, 24 hours market operations, using smart contracts, automating processes, to do all of these things, we'll need a brand new infrastructure backbone. That's the requirement, because it doesn't exist. It's not here yet. And that's the beautiful and juicy thing about all of this, is because let's remind ourselves that the blockchain technology, specifically Ethereum, is 2-in-1. It's not just a technology, but it's also an asset. And again, repetition makes perfect. Let's go back again. If we go back here, if it's an asset and not just a technology, once more, it just shows you how much more important liquidity is, right? Because if it's an investment, if it's an asset, whenever I need to cash out, there needs to be liquidity to avoid the same challenges we're facing with the banks right now, right? That are on a fractional reserve deposit, right? They're on a fractional reserve. They don't have the full deposits of the depositors with the banks. And this is a challenge that we're facing and need to also be addressed. So with that said, community, back again over here, we need a new infrastructure that is based on smart contracts, that is working on improved liquidity, that gives us 24/7 market operations, is more efficient, and it's lower risk, and it's shortening the settlement time, and it's automated, making it decentralized. Now that we understand that, one more thing that we need to highlight is that right now we're still based on the same message-based system that was back in the 70s, very old. However, smart contracts, also known as distributed ledger technology, has the potential to bring our capital markets infrastructure into the 21st century, streamlining and automating all these manual and time-consuming processes through smart contracts. This is what the digital ledger technology is all about, and not just about flipping meme coins, right? So now that we've set the stage, now that we've set the foundation, and we have this mental mind map, let's proceed, and let's keep all of what we've said so far in mind. So to do that, let's move forward. Let's verify. It's time to verify. Enough of the theory. Now let's verify all these things. Let's start by looking at what infrastructures, like we understand that infrastructures need to be built. Stablecoin infrastructures and infrastructures as a whole need to be put in place. So let's verify that. Who's already building these infrastructures? Where are they building these infrastructures? So this one is one that we've already discussed in our last community event, so we're not going to spend a lot of time to this. But just to make a point, one of the largest payment processors existing institutions that are market leaders, like MasterCard, they already announced an end-to-end stablecoin payment system, which is a network, is an infrastructure. So here again, we have stablecoins and infrastructure. These are two things that are being done right now. And this is not 1.5 years ago or multiple decades ago. This is barely 2 days ago. 2 days ago, MasterCard announced an end-to-end stablecoin payment system. So stablecoin infrastructure, so that their users can use it and pay. So this credit card giant MasterCard is delving deeper into stablecoins with a new system that enables stablecoin payments. Just as a reminder again, remember what this individual said. Stablecoins, not crypto, will be part of the financial ecosystem in the future. It didn't last long. 1.5 years later, fast forward today, boom, we are in the future. We are already in the future. And we are seeing the future unfolding right in front of our eyes right now. So another thing that we need to understand is that all this happened, like we said, just a few days ago, right? Just a few days ago. So this is, of course, going to require global regulatory clarity for stablecoins. This is something that we all look forward to. And this will also help consumers to spend stablecoins. And the merchants, they can accept it and receive it as well. So again, infrastructures are being built, and existing financial institutions like MasterCard are the ones building these infrastructures. Remember what the World Economic Forum just spelled out to us. What's needed to achieve all of this? It's a new infrastructure. And this infrastructure is being built right now in front of our eyes, community. And this is something beautiful. It's nice to see that we are in the future that was being talked about. We are in it right now. So let's be aware of that. So if we continue, and just to understand all of these even further, we quickly understand that, again, let's not repeat ourselves here. Let's just understand one thing I want us to look at. So these are banks and financial fintech companies. They are engaging what? With solutions, right? This is exactly what we always talk about. These are established. They're not market leaders for no reason. They already know. They've been here, done that before. So they know that if you want to be a market leader, you need to engage with solutions. You need to come up with solutions, understand what's hot, what's needed right now. And that's stablecoin, that's infrastructures. So how do you become a market leader? Come with solutions. What solutions? Well, identify the challenges that are being faced right now. What are we faced with right now? Identify, take your time, understand the market, understand the industry, and then turn those challenges into solutions. That's how you become market leader. That's how you are at the forefront. And this is exactly what's happening right now. So everything that they identify, that from wallets to card issuing to acceptance of the payments, this is the solution they're coming with. They've partnered with MetaMask. Most of us are using MetaMask. Kraken, Gemini, Bybit, even Crypto.com, and the largest centralized exchange, Binance, as well, right? And like we said, this is not just your startup company. This is an established market leader with over 150 million merchants and hundreds of millions of customers across 200 nations. So we can now use stablecoins in our existing crypto wallets, DeFi wallet, via traditional cards. So you see what's happening here. This is what we're talking about today's topic, mainstream adaptation. Mainstream means existing institutions, existing infrastructures are now being brought on chain. And the technology that is already the latest technology, the digital ledger technology, that new infrastructure that we talked about that needs to be built is being built right now based on the challenges that we're faced with, and they're coming with solutions for it. Keep this in mind, solutions for challenges. Let's move on. Furthermore, what we need to ask ourselves is like, okay, fine, but now we understand who. We asked the question, we answered the question, who is MasterCard? But now let's ask ourselves, where? So now that we know who is building infrastructures, let's ask ourselves, where are they building the infrastructure? Right? It's right in front of us. So MasterCard, they're building on Ethereum. That's where they're building. So the where question is right in front of us. It's on the Ethereum. It's for Ethereum users, right? And this is what we need to understand. Now that we understand the who, and the where. Let's understand one more thing. These are existing infrastructures, like we said, where anywhere MasterCard is accepted, you'll be able to use your Ethereum linked wallet address and make your payments globally. So this is not something that needs to be lined up and started from scratch and built. No, these are existing infrastructures using the latest technology, the blockchain technology, to use existing infrastructures already, to build new infrastructures on top of a new technology, but using existing connections, existing clients, existing licenses of these institutions and reputation and all of that. And then another thing I want us to highlight here is that we need to understand that there's two things here, and it's on Ethereum, and it's been using stablecoins, USDC specifically. Let's keep this in mind. Ethereum, blockchain, USDC, stablecoin are being used as on these infrastructures. So if we move on, it's only fair to look at the market leader in payment process. MasterCard is second to Visa. So let's look at what Visa is up to. Of course, they're not going to sit on their hands and watch MasterCard dominate. So they already also took a step further, and they're already also piloting actually a stablecoin linked cards. So you have debit cards linked to your stablecoins, and they're already piloting it, launching it in Latin America. So the countries are Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, and 3 other countries in that region. So this service is already launched as we speak. It's out, it's rolled out already, right? And who did they partner with? They partnered with Bridge, which was bought by Stripe, right, for billions of dollars. And they're together launching stablecoin linked, like we saw here, stablecoin linked card, stablecoin linked debit card, into rolling out into starting with Latin America. So this is something that another giant, payment giant, Visa, has announced, and this was just this week, was on Wednesday. So this is something that is happening back to back to back, right? This was actually just rolled out today, May 1st. So this is something that we need to understand, that now all these infrastructures that are ready and are ready to be rolled out, and they're being rolled out in May right now. So let's go further. Now that we understand, again, we were able to answer the question, the who. Now let's look at the where, again, for Visa. Visa, of course, they also have their Visa tokenized asset platform. Again, we see tokenization. That's the keyword here. You need tokenization, and you need a new infrastructure. Now, and it's by Visa. That's the who. Now the where. Where are they building this infrastructure? Nowhere else than the public Ethereum blockchain, right? So we saw MasterCard is building on Ethereum. Now we saw Visa building on Ethereum as well. These are where the infrastructures are being built. Let's go back here again. Remember, in order to achieve and improve liquidity, in order to shorten settlement times, have a 24/7 operations using smart contracts and digital ledger technology for collateral management, and for financial institutions to free up even more assets and capital, we need new infrastructure. So we need to ask ourselves, who is going to build it, and where are they going to build it? And so far we've seen two, right? We've seen MasterCard. We answered the question who, MasterCard, and then the where. We also saw that the where this takes place also on Ethereum. So MasterCard is the who, Ethereum is the where, and same with Visa. We can answer the same questions. The who is Visa, and the where right here, as we can see, is on the public blockchain of Ethereum. So, but this is not all. Let's look further. These are established institutions already that have been around for decades, 5 decades to be exact. But what about this Circle? Circle is fairly new. It's barely 7, 6, 7, 8 years old, right? They've not been around for so long. And look at what they're doing. What is their announcement? Now, they're announcing, or announced rather, also a payment network known as Circle Payment Network, CPN. This is exact same system like Visa and MasterCard, only Circle is already on chain and Circle is already on Ethereum blockchain. And this is exactly the evolution that is taking place. So Circle Payments Network is connecting financial institutions to enable faster, lower cost, more transparent cross-border payments using USDC and Euro coin as well, and other regulated payment stablecoins. So this was also just announced this week. And again, the Circle Payment Network is to connect financial institutions such as banks, payment service providers, so on and so forth, right? And also digital wallet providers as well. The challenge here that they're addressing, they're coming with solutions because it takes longer. Payments still take longer, right? Longer than a business day to settle, and also cost 6%. And also the delays are driven by multiple intermediaries, like one bank has to send to another bank and then to a representative's bank, and by the time it hits where it needs to get, 3 to 5 business days are over. All the compliance checks, all the market cutoff times, like we said, if it's not between Monday to Friday business hours, it's going to be cut off. And all these fragmentations, operating hours of different time zones and jurisdictions. So these are the challenges that are being faced, and these are the solutions that Circle is coming up with to address. So you see that there's always a focus on solutions. Use the technology for solutions. Let's keep that in mind. So Circle is a fintech company, is a crypto company, and also the USDC stablecoin issuer. It's the parent company of USDC stablecoin. They are now also announcing they're coming up with their own payment network. And actually, they're launching it today. Is the first day that they launched, May 1st. Let's see that. Let's go there. They say that they're going to launch it right here in May. So Circle Payments Network is a new technology service and is expected to be released in a limited capacity, like we said, where right now in May, this May. So we see MasterCard launching in May, Visa launching in May, Circle launching in May. There's quite a bit happening in May. So these are market leaders that are launching their products in May. So what else is interesting that I want us to look at, community, is that this same Circle that is building out the Circle Payment Network platform, they're also part of a broader movement of crypto companies pushing into the regulated banking sector. So they are aiming and seeking to be a US bank and to get licenses. They want charters and licenses to become banks. We know this about Circle. Circle's ambition is to become a national digital full reserve bank. And they're shooting for a banking charter or a banking license. And they already also went through an IPO, initial public offering. They want to be a public company and a public national full reserve bank as well. And they're not alone. There are several crypto projects in the fintech that aim to become that. So the irony here is that, and let's come here. they're pursuing the same type of charter, right? And also, if these charters are approved, regulators will be subject to the farms to bank-like scrutiny, right? And this is a double-edged sword, of course, like we said. But now because they'll be under regulation, and that means that this is how it will be going mainstream. Actually, this is how mainstream adoption takes place, through regulations. So another thing I want us to understand here is that these crypto companies are getting ready to become regulated banks or trust companies. And even partnering with them becomes less of a reputational or regulatory risk for businesses because they're regulated. So large institutions now can partner with them because they are regulated and there's regulations with them. That's the takeaway of this. Now, another thing also is established asset managers such as BlackRock. Where are they? Who is it? So 93% of BlackRock's BIDL token is another stable coin as well. Where is it? It's on Ethereum, right? And institutions follow deep liquidity, like we always say. This is the point. Like BlackRock, they're in the business of liquidity. That's their whole business model, is to create liquidity pools and then make money off of volume by charging management and transaction fees. That's how they make money. They're into the liquidity business. The sooner we understand this, the better. So again, institutions follow deep liquidity. And where is deep liquidity? It's on Ethereum right now. So credible, neutrality, and a battle-tested security as well. So Ethereum is already their settlement layer of choice. So again, we hear a lot of noise that will distract us from the facts, but let's not be distracted because numbers don't lie, right? And here's a beautiful chart that he also posted, and you can see here, it's not even close. Ethereum by far here in blue is completely dominating in terms of digital tokenized treasury bills. We'll look at this even closer on the website itself. So now that we've seen that, let's get to the meat and potatoes now. So with all of these things happening, there is a draft as we speak being put together, right, by the sitting news chairman, right, like we just seen here. And this is French Hill now, and he's putting together a bill that could come as soon as this week. And what is this bill about? It includes it's going to determine whether a token is a security, like we said, or a commodity. That's one of the requirements. And another thing that is also going to address is who is going to regulate it. Is it going to be regulated by the Commodities, Futures and Trading Commission, or is it going to be by the Security and Exchange Commission? So these are things that are going to be addressed, and it can come as soon as this week, anytime from now. So Congress is still working out final details. So the main is done, but it's just details that are being clarified right now. And according to 3 sources who have met with staff or the White House, which is taking an active role in ushering along the legislation in recent days, right? So this is something that we can look forward to. So regulations are being fine-tuned right now and are getting ready to be rolled out. And this is why we can see these institutions confidently, specifically in May, starting today, are rolling out products already, as if they know something that we still don't know. So we see here still, they each expect the House to release the discussion draft by late May, so this is the month, or early June, at the absolute latest. So these are things that are very important for us. Like we said, stablecoin regulations, Ethereum staking, what is a commodity, what is a security, so on and so forth. So we need clarity and regulation to kickstart. And with the pro crypto administration, these are all being done and put in place, which is great for us community. And also, just to understand what we just looked at, let's look at it ourselves. Let's not just believe a random tweet, but let's fact check that. So if we come here on this beautiful website, rwa.xyz, we can see here clearly that yes, Ethereum by far, if it comes to treasuries, that's on Ethereum. Ethereum is the home for tokenization. If we go to stablecoins, tokenized US dollars, we see the same picture. The story repeats itself. We see here by far in blue, Ethereum is ahead of it once more. So it's always good to verify. Let's not just take things at their face value. Now, something interesting that let's move on to something else now. We've seen Visa, we've seen MasterCard, we've seen BlackRock so far, right? So the next one in line is JP Morgan. Now, this is another article that just came. This is fresh off the press, just a few hours old. It just happened today. So JP Morgan, they have a blockchain unit, and they're expanding into MENA, Middle East and North Africa. So they're expanding into Middle East and Africa with 8 major bank deals. So they've closed deals with 8 major banks that are willing to use JP Morgan's blockchain unit. So first thing again, let's answer the same questions. Now that we know who is JP Morgan. So let's quickly identify where. What about the where? Where? So to answer that, let's quickly see what is Kinexys. What is Kinexys? Kinexys is JP Morgan's blockchain. It's known as Kinexys. It's by JP Morgan. So if we quickly read through here, what is their vision? Their vision is to build a financial infrastructure. Didn't we read this somewhere? Didn't the World Economic Forum spell it out to us that we need a new financial infrastructure? We saw Visa using this word, infrastructure, MasterCard, infrastructure, BlackRock, infrastructure. Now JP Morgan using, again, infrastructure that transforms financial services. So they're already building infrastructures. That's their vision. And what is it dedicated to? Dedicated to developing, again, infrastructure that does what? That strives to be composable, programmable, and interoperable. Where did we see this? Specifically this. Let's remind ourselves, where did we see this? Programmable. Let's come back over here. If we come here, we see that what needs to be programmable is smart contracts. Smart contracts are programmable, right? And if we come here, we see that we were told that the tokenization of financial assets are on the blockchain, are gaining momentum, right? On institutional and governmental level. So far, we've seen institutions. We'll get to the governments as well. And programmable means smart contracts, right? That means smart contracts. And this is it right here. This is the business case for tokenization, smart contracts. And to achieve all of this, the collateral, liquidity, efficiency, and 24/7 market operations needs a new financial infrastructure, needs a new infrastructural backbone. So we always see this over and over again, and Kinexys is building that infrastructure. They're building financial infrastructure, and they're dedicating themselves to developing the infrastructure that is programmable using smart contracts, right? And this is what they're saying. They're here to supercharge today's financial system, to make it fast forward with Kinexys, right? So now that we understand that and we know who this is, let's ask ourselves the where. Where is all this taking place, right? So JP Morgan, again, they are using it's Ethereum. They're on Ethereum as well. Not a surprise. So they're on Ethereum blockchain, and this is where the Kinexis by JP Morgan. That's the website we just looked at. With the where, we know that the who, JP Morgan, where, again, also on Ethereum. MasterCard on Ethereum, Visa on Ethereum, BlackRock on Ethereum, JP Morgan on Ethereum. And all are building infrastructures. They're not just flipping meme coins. They're building infrastructure specifically on Ethereum. Let's keep that in mind. So now let's go back and understand who are these 8. I'm sure we're curious. Who are these 8 major banks that are partnering with JP Morgan's Ethereum-based blockchain? Who are these? So again, 8 of the largest. These are the largest banks in Middle East and North Africa, right? That's MENA. They're using JP Morgan's Kinexis blockchain platform for payments. We just looked at JP Morgan's Kinexis blockchain, and we know that it's on Ethereum. So 8 of the largest banks in Middle East and Africa are using JP Morgan's Ethereum-based Kinexis blockchain. Now, who are these banks? Let's look at who are these. These are not just your random mom and pop banks. These are Qatar National Bank, Saudi, and Abu Dhabi, right? And even Dubai. So let's focus on Qatar, Saudi, and Abu Dhabi. So again, Kinexis, just as a refresher, is by JP Morgan, and they are here to develop an infrastructure, right? They're here to have a world's first bank-led blockchain platform. They're the world's first bank-led blockchain platform. And that bank-led blockchain platform is on Ethereum. They are building infrastructures. And they are fueling financial movement and transforming the way money, information, and assets move globally. That's what it's all about. They're about solutions. So again, just as a refresher, let's come back here and look at Qatar, Saudi, and Abu Dhabi. Okay, let's look at them step by step. Again, JP Morgan's Onyx is on Ethereum. Okay, so now let's look at the individuals. Let's look at Qatar. Let's start with Qatar. Qatar is an investment authority, and it's a sovereign wealth fund. One of the largest sovereign wealth fund of the state of Qatar. These are the ones that have partnered with JP Morgan's Kinexis blockchain on Ethereum, and they are a sovereign wealth fund. For those who don't know what a sovereign wealth fund is, it's the largest investment fund of the nation of Qatar. Now, let's move on. Who was the other one? Was Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia, same thing, right? They have theirs is called PIF, right? Their investment fund as well. And we see here that their vision 2030 is to not rely heavily on their oil, like Qatar is also very oil rich, like Saudi Arabia. But now they want to also invest in other sustainable investments. And this is why they're investing heavily on Ethereum with JP Morgan using their Kinexis blockchain and payment system and collateral network system as well. Right now, they have just below $1 trillion assets under management. That's how large the investment fund is. $925 billion, right? And these are the individuals that are using or partnered with JP Morgan using the Ethereum blockchain as their technology for the payments. So let's look at the last one. The last one was Abu Dhabi, right? And we see here that Abu Dhabi, let's look at them here. Abu Dhabi is the last one. So we see here Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. They are so powerful that they actually, alongside the International Monetary Fund, IMF. IMF is the bank for central banks. It's the bank of last resort. It's the bank when everything else fails. That's the bank you go to. And they are, and this Abu Dhabi fund, they are co-owners. They are co-chairs, actually, like you see here. The Abu Dhabi Investment Authority also served as co-chair in 2008. That's right after the financial crisis. Alongside the IMF. So the IMF, which is the bank for central banks, the bank of last resort, is using the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund. They are the co-chair. And they also partner with JP Morgan and also using Ethereum's blockchain technology that JP Morgan is using, right? So now that we understand this, it's not just institutions, like we said. Now we see sovereign wealth funds, nations, governments are also involved on Ethereum as well. Now, let's close this out like this, community. Let's make a point now. Let's bring this home. It's time to bring this home now. So there is a company known as Microsoft. And back in the late 70s, when they launched their company, within the first year, Microsoft sales within the first year was 16,000 US dollars. Fast forward today, that same 16,000 they made for the very first year in sales, they make that in less than 2 seconds today. It takes them less than every 2 seconds, less than that, they make that same amount they made for the full year. You might ask yourself, well, how does this relate to crypto, Steve? Why are you talking numbers here? What are you trying to instigate here? What are you saying? Like we said, you see how comments are very important. So if you scroll down, there's one comment here that I really want us to understand. And this comment was this, right here, this individual. And they owe most of their success to Seattle Computer Products. Most of us never even heard about this company, but this individual is very smart. They know, they did the research, they understand this. Many of us maybe might have just scrolled past it and don't even understand what this means. But this individual said something very interesting. They owe most of their success to Seattle Computer Products. It used to be a company called that. Let's look at that. Why is that so interesting? So before we leave this session, keep in mind, back then, individuals, that was when the internet was not even there yet. This was just PC, personal computers. And the internet was just up and coming. And many didn't even understand what personal computers are, and didn't see the value of it, didn't even understand that it's the future and they might use it, they might need it. Meanwhile, we'll see further, Microsoft was looking for solutions. Instead of joining the bandwagon of people whining about it and doubting the new technology, they studied it and turned the challenges into solutions. And the rest, fast forward today, like we beautifully and like to say, is history. So let's go back and understand what is this individual talking about? What really is Seattle Computer Products? So let's learn something. So Seattle Computer Products, what is it? Seattle Computer Product, as SCP, was a Washington-based microcomputer hardware company. It was one of the first manufacturers of computer system, operating systems as we know them today. They're one of the first. And the interesting part of this is that they actually manufactured an operating system that was twice as fast with 16-bit. I don't want to sound nerdy here, but I'm just making a point. And they founded this back in 1978. And they already shipped their very first operating system to their customers in November 1979. This was 21 months before IBM even started producing personal computers that we are using today. They already had shipped out a working operating system that was twice as fast because theirs was based on a much slower 8-bit. Right? And now there is this company known as Microsoft back then that that actually a year before the release of the PC from IBM, which was modified then. You see how they use the word very carefully. They use the word modified. You can replace the word modified with many other adjectives, but they chose modified. So Microsoft, quote unquote, borrowed, let's use the word borrowed, the operating system of SCP. And they use the word, let's go along with it, modified, right? And then after modifying it, they renamed it. This is exactly what this individual was saying on the tweet earlier. Let's go back just quickly. This is what this was all about. They owe the success to Seattle Computer Products because they modified it, right? They took the idea of this company, modified it, renamed it, and then sold it to IBM, and the rest is history. So what are we saying here? This company, SCP, had already shipped their very first operating system 3 years before Microsoft even knew, and before IBM even started producing personal computers. Why is this so significant? We'll soon understand. Remember, this company launched in 1979, right? They shipped their first product already in 1979. That's when they already shipped their first operating system to their clients, right? To their customers in 1979. Now let's look when Microsoft modified and renamed its product. So 2 years later, after that company already had shipped their products and Microsoft borrowed and modified and renamed their product to MS, Microsoft operating system. That was 2 years later. 2 years later, they did that. So 2 years later, Microsoft took over, and fast forward today. You ask yourself, why was Microsoft so important back in the day? And this is where it gets interesting. It's because it was a key product in Microsoft's development. And this is important. It's a programming language. Microsoft DOS is operating system. It's a programming language. It's a code. It's a software that this company developed. It's a software. And the sales of these initially essentially generated a lot of revenue and marketing resources for them. And then they moved on to the GUI, graphic user interface, like we know today as Windows. So they moved from MS-DOS to Windows, like the earlier versions, like we know them today. But what we need to take away from here is that Microsoft is a programming language, just like Solidity is a programming language for blockchain, and it's a software. Smart contracts are softwares. It's a software. Blockchain is a software. It's a programming language. Do you see the connections here? So when people still didn't understand what the internet is and its future and its potential, Microsoft understood, studied it, and developed a software, a programming language that they didn't invent. They were not the pioneers. What did they use? They used the word that they modified it, right? So, and here we are. And what else do we need to understand? Fast forward today, Microsoft is on the top. They're the number one asset in terms of stocks, companies, software, tech companies. They're by far the number one, leading the chart right here. Only gold is ahead, but gold is a commodity. It's not a stock. So as far as stocks, it has the largest market cap. It's the most expensive. It's the largest company, has the largest cash flow, etc., right? Something else I want us to understand about Microsoft is when you ask yourself, why is everyone using Windows operating system? Why? Let's ask ourselves that question. It's because it runs the most software. What are softwares? Bull Run staking platform is a software. It's an application written by a language. And most hardwares, to run a staking platform, you need hardwares. You need servers, physical servers. And because it is very user-friendly, and it just works out of the box. It doesn't crash. It just works. It's secure. It's the software that most of individuals use. And it's also, most hardwares are accepting it. Do we see where this is heading, community? We spent the last hour talking about infrastructures being built on Ethereum. We saw Visa, MasterCard, BlackRock, JP Morgan. They're all building infrastructures using softwares and hardwares to build on Ethereum, which is their software. Do we get what's happening? History is repeating itself. Ethereum is the current day Windows, Microsoft, where you build a bunch of softwares on it. You can run a bunch of software in it. One of the softwares is Bull Run staking platform. It's a software. It's a language. So let's move on. Another question we should ask ourselves here is that why did Windows operating system become so popular? Now, this is where it really gets interesting, community. There is a reason that Windows, in all its variations, has held and is still holding 85 to 90% of the personal computer market for decades, not for a year, for decades. It's dominating that industry. It is inexpensive overall. It runs on an infinite number of non-proprietary hardware configurations. It has thousands of programs available, which are applications to run, and it just really works. It never shuts down. It's secure, and it just works. It runs, and it has thousands of applications that are running on it. Does that sound familiar? If not, let's refresh our memories. This is Ethereum. Ethereum is on a Solidity language, program language. It's called Solidity. It's a software. It's a technology. And these are applications. These are softwares. Aave is a software. Lido, Eigenlayer, these are all softwares that are built on top of Ethereum. thousands of them. Do you see how history is repeating itself? And majority of the liquidity of the entire industry, like stablecoins, are on Ethereum. Most applications are on Ethereum. Liquidity, most of it is on Ethereum. Just like this is why Windows operating system is dominating between 85 to 90%, because it has thousands of applications that are running on it, and it just works, and it has an infinite number of hardware configurations. This means they have infrastructures built on top of it. These are infrastructures. They have infinite number of infrastructure built. Who else was building infrastructures? We have to remind ourselves. Visa is building infrastructures. Where? On Ethereum. Who else? We see here, MasterCard is building infrastructures. Where are they building that infrastructure? It's on Ethereum. And then we went and saw JP Morgan. Before that, we saw BlackRock. BlackRock is building the infrastructure. And 93% of BlackRock's bill, where is it? It's on Ethereum. And BlackRock is not just some random company. It's the largest asset manager in the world. Who else? We saw how JP Morgan, who also happens to be on Ethereum. Let's look at it. JP Morgan with the Kinexys blockchain is on Ethereum. And who is partnering with JP Morgan? We saw that it's the Qatar, oil-rich, Saudi, and Abu Dhabi. All of them are oil-rich nations. They're partnering with JP Morgan's Kinexys blockchain. That's also on Ethereum. These are infrastructures that are built, so they're willing to join JP Morgan's Ethereum-based infrastructure. Now, it goes even farther. It goes even farther. And let's listen, let's watch what Etherealize is saying. This is where all the educational about Ethereum is taking place. So, connecting institutions to the Ethereum ecosystem. Ethereum is the largest, most secure. It just works, right? It just works. And it's the largest and most open blockchain. It's a technology. It's a blockchain technology. It's a software using Solidity programming language for the world to use. Just like the world is using Windows right now. This is Ethereum. The world is using it. And Ethereum is open for business, right? They're doing they're providing the research, the content, and products to bring the world onto Ethereum. What else? Upgrading the financial system. Upgrading the financial system. Where did we see this? Back again. New financial infrastructure needs to be built. A new financial infrastructure needs to be built. And we're on the old one right now. We're relying on an old, same message-based system pioneered back in the 70s, back when IBM and the Microsofts were built. And now fast forward, we need this distributed ledger technology. This is the latest technology. And this is the only one that can bring us and our capital markets infrastructure into up to date. It's about infrastructure. And this is exactly what we're seeing here. This is what Ethereum is about. So in the end, every asset will be tokenized on and secured by the Ethereum economy. This is not wishful thinking. This is not just hype. We just saw Visa building on Ethereum. We just saw MasterCard building on it. We just saw JP Morgan. We just saw BlackRock. And let's look at even more. Let's not just believe let's see who else is building. For the Americans, you understand who Walmart is, right? Walmart is like the largest retail store in the whole US, right? Walmart is an IBM using Ethereum. So the Ethereum technology is already being used by big companies like Walmart and IBM. And even for gaming, right? The Ethereum blockchain is already being integrated into the gaming industry as well. Like Sony already launched also their layer 2 blockchain on Ethereum as well, by the way. So it's not just BlackRock, JP Morgan, Visa, and MasterCard. It's also retail stores and tech companies. But that's not enough. Who else? Swiss state-owned bank. So this is now on a government level now. The Swiss government owns a bank known as Post Finance, and they already launched, by the way. It's a done deal. There's an old article from January, so people already staking ETH, and they are offering ETH staking. This is the Swiss government itself. It's a state-owned bank, and they're offering their 2.7 million customers across Switzerland Ethereum staking for as little as 0.1 ETH. If you have 0.1 ETH, which right now at current prices are $185, you can start staking and earn ETH rewards. Not by some random unknown individuals, but backed by the Swiss government. So what else? Who else? What about the largest bank and asset manager in Europe? UBS. They're issuing tokenized US dollar money market fund. What are they using? They're using Ethereum technology as well. So these are all market leaders. UBS is the largest bank in the whole Europe, the largest bank in Switzerland. They're using Ethereum technology. We just saw the Swiss government offering Ethereum staking also. We just saw that the Walmart, IBM, using it as well. We get the point. And why are they using it? If you do a quick Google search, this is not interesting. Why is Ethereum used in blockchain? Ask yourself, why is Ethereum being used? Ethereum allows anyone to deploy decentralized applications onto it. These are softwares. Applications are softwares written by programmed languages through smart contracts with which users can interact, right? So decentralized finance, DeFi applications provide financial instruments that do not directly rely on financial intermediaries like brokerages, exchanges, or banks. This is why people like to use Ethereum. It's reliable, it just works, and anyone can deploy smart contracts on it. Didn't we just read all of this earlier about Windows? Because it runs most software and on most hardware, and because it's very user-friendly and just works. Community, it's all in front of our faces, and we're seeing history repeating itself right in front of us. Just like when Windows came in the early days. And this is why Windows is operating system. It's a programming language, and they're still dominating the market by 85 to 90%. And here we are. Fast forward, they are the number one. Why? Because they cornered the market, and no PCs operate under that programming language and software of Microsoft. Fast forward, we have Ethereum right in front of our faces right now. And it's doing the exact same thing. We have applications can be built on top of it. Just like the softwares are being built on top of it. Tokenized assets are being on top of it. Stablecoins are on it. You can stake it, use it for lending and borrowing, using as collateral. We see BlackRock, JP Morgan, Visa, MasterCard, UBS, the Swiss government are using Ethereum technology. But now We almost skipped one thing, and we're going to close out with this. Just to be a spoiler, this is the latest technology right now. JP Morgan, they're using Kinexys once more by JP Morgan. They launched a blockchain in space. Nothing like this has ever happened before. So pressing deeper into the Internet of Things, JP Morgan, using their blockchain technology on Ethereum, known as Kinexys, are using transactions, actually have done transactions between satellites, 2 satellites. And I don't want to bore you with too much technical stuff, but just to understand what they did, JP Morgan has tested the world's first bank-led tokenized value transfer in space. Executed via what? Smart contracts on a blockchain network established between satellites orbiting the Earth. And just to make the point, let's go down. Let's not bore ourselves with all of this. Let's get straight to the point. Which technology do you think are they using to accomplish all of this? They're deploying the ERC20 smart contract, a well-known Ethereum standard. Come on, community. Come on. Everything is being spelled out right in front of us. Every major technology, institution, government is using as a standard. Ethereum is the standard, just like Windows is the standard, or was the standard and still is, and is dominating 90% of all PC market. This is exactly what's happening with Ethereum. They're completely dominating, and they're the standard, even for the satellite transactions. Everything is on a Ethereum standard, the ERC20 standard. So what are we saying, community? Liquidity, volume, all of that is getting ready to come on chain, on Ethereum specifically. Ethereum is the standard of things. Many still don't want to accept it, don't want to embrace it. We are sidetracked by so much noise. However, in the background, slowly and quietly, infrastructures are being built on top of Ethereum. Major market leaders are quietly building on top of Ethereum. Why is this so significant? Why is that so important to us as a community? It's because our bull run ecosystem is very well equipped and ready to take advantage of all the liquidity, all the volume that is about to take place by addressing the challenges we face in the industry. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, community. Just look at what the market leaders did 50 years ago and then do the same, right? Study the industry, understand it, and embrace the technology that it's for more than just flipping meme coins on pump.fun. This is a technology and it's an asset at the same time. Find the challenges, identify challenges, and turn them into opportunities, and turn these opportunities into solutions. What are the challenges? Lack of liquidity, inflation, unsustainable staking distributions, inefficient use of volume. 4 challenges. 4. And all 4 are being addressed using digital ledger technology, smart contracts, blockchain technology. And it starts with liquidity retention, not just through volume and trades, but again, by staking 10% of the supply to do buybacks and restaking. Also, because in order to have your 100% USDC distributions, you need to stake at least all 5 boosters. And the revenue generated from these boosters are building a sustainable and healthy liquidity. And it goes even further. This is the 3rd one. The 4th one is we enable the community members themselves to do the same like this right now. By staking, because we have a staking platform, you can use your USDC distributions to do the same, to buy back and restake. That's 4 different ways how we are retaining liquidity. Another thing is inflation. We started with 1 million in supply, 1 million. And we have a ban, true ban, meaning our supply is being removed from the total supply, not just from circulation, but from the total supply. So for the math geniuses, we started with 1 million. And if you come and confirm, verify, don't trust, verify. We come to Etherscan, this is the blockchain, and you see that we are way below that million that we started with. We only have a supply of 962,000. So more than 37,000 of our supply is removed from the total supply, and it keeps shrinking as we speak with every trade. So this is how we tackle inflation. For a staking platform, you have to be not just deflationary. That's a bare minimum. But if you can manage to be scarce and your supply is shrinking, your total supply is shrinking as a staking platform, this is how you use this technology to its maximum, to its fullest. And then finally, another challenge is USDC distribution. Staking plays a major role. It plays a major role to secure the network and to stabilize the network. Queen beautifully had that topic yesterday on Facebook. For those who didn't listen, I highly encourage us to go and tune in. She took her time and explained it beautifully. So staking plays a major role to secure and stabilize the network, the ecosystem, the token. So it's important that you don't cause inflation and you have a sustainable rewards for those who are staking. With sustainable, we mean it doesn't run out after 3 months or a year or 5 years. It doesn't run out. And secondly, it doesn't cause inflation. So that's the third. And then finally, efficient use of volume, meaning the more the liquidity is being accumulated, this will bring more volume. And more volume means more liquidity, lower the supply, and USDC distributions as well. Let's stay on the USDC part. Right now, if we go back to Etherscan and we go to the holders, you'll see the number 1 wallet right now. The number 1 wallet right now is not Dev's wallet. 74% of the total supply, this doesn't belong to the devs and the early investors. This is the staking contract, right? If you come here, you see this is a contract. This wallet doesn't belong to a single individual. This is a smart contract. It's a staking contract, and it accumulates USDC, just like the smart contract is saying it is. With every trade, buy and sell, 1% of the volume is being turned into USDC to reward the stakers for stabilizing and securing the ecosystem. And this is where the USDC is accumulated under a smart contract, a staking contract. So far, we have close to 7,500 USDC for the stakers who are staking BRL. And this USDC keeps increasing. The more volume, the more trades are happening, the more USDC is being accumulated here, right? And you know we can't just talk about USDC distributions without pulling the calculator, right? You know we have to pull the calculator. So let's do a quick math here. Right now, let's just use 100 million, just 100 million, right? And let's look at our, let's see how, what will our ecosystem do with 100 million in volume? What will it look like if we had 100 million in volume? So just to times 1%, 1% of 100 million is 1 million. And that means that 1% goes to TrueBan, 1% goes to distribution, staking distributions. Since we are still at staking, let's start with staking. So 1% is 1 million. And like we said, right now, that means if we had 100 million in volume right now, within 24 hours, 100 million volume, this USDC amount would be $1 million right now. It will be $1 million in USDC for stakers, those who are staking BRL token. So our smart contract, our ecosystem is built in a way that it retains 1% of the volume. And 1% of 100 million in volume is 1 million. So that means that 1 million worth of USDC is going to be retained in the smart contract right here for those who are staking the BRL token. And because it's based on volume, it doesn't have a limit. Actually, the more trades are happening, the more USDC it accumulates, and it doesn't run out. It's perpetual. So think about it. And then besides all of that, the supply keeps shrinking 1%. So $1 million worth of BRL tokens are going to be not just removed from circulating supply and banned, but from the total supply. So the supply keeps shrinking while your USDC distributions keep increasing. These are 1% each. Now, it gets interesting when it comes to liquidity, because liquidity is 3%. So we have to multiply this by 3. So now it's 3 million. What does that mean? 3 million USDC, $3 million worth is being purchased and added to the liquidity. So the liquidity is increasing. What happens if the liquidity increases? That means the volume increases as well. So now we have a perfect feedback loop. And we have sustainable volume that keeps increasing. The deeper the liquidity is, the more volume. And the more volume, our supply keeps shrinking. The liquidity keeps increasing. And the USDC distributions keep piling up in the smart contract. So now it's a win-win-win for all participants. It's a win for the trader because the liquidity keeps increasing and nobody's dumping on them because the stakers are staking and busy accumulating and receiving USDC distributions. Meanwhile, the supply keeps shrinking, raising the price floor naturally, and so on and so forth. So that's the whole idea. And this is why if your ecosystem is not equipped to retain liquidity, to lower the supply, the total supply, and to accumulate USDC distributions, and to use its volume efficiently to achieve all of these, you tackle all 4 challenges in the industry using this digital ledger technology, you're going to miss out on this bull cycle that is getting ready to come and hit us. Because we know that just like Windows is dominating 90% in terms of operating system for personal computers, we are seeing Ethereum infrastructure being built by the likes of Microsoft, the likes of JP Morgan, BlackRock, Visa, MasterCard, UBS, the Swiss state-owned bank Post Finance, the Swiss government themselves, and Walmart we saw, and IBM, and so many more. Infrastructures are being built on top of Ethereum. Applications are being built on top of Ethereum. These are softwares. These are programming languages. Does this sound familiar? This is what's happening. So whenever people are telling you that Ethereum is dead, nothing is happening because they focus on the price movements instead of focusing on the infrastructure that is being built, that one of the World Economic Forum individuals predicted 1.5 years ago that stablecoins are going to dominate because their liquidity that they have and not cryptocurrencies. This means that your cryptocurrency needs to retain liquidity. If not, it will fail. It will fail to be a medium of exchange and a store of value, it will fail. If your ecosystem is not retaining liquidity, is not reducing its supply, it's not giving you sustainable staking distributions, and it's not using its volume efficiently, it will fail to be an exchange, medium of exchange and a store of value. And these are not my words. So nobody should say, "Oh, Steve, why are you speaking like that?" These are not my words. These are the words of a very reputable individual that is part of the World Economic Forum, saying stablecoins, not cryptocurrencies, will be part of the financial ecosystem in the future. Why? Because they are liquid. As simple as that. They're liquid. And again, cryptocurrencies have failed the test of digital money. These are not my words, right? Crypto has performed poorly as a medium of exchange or a store of value. Why? Lack of liquidity, inflation, unsustainable staking distributions, inefficient use of volume. That's why. So because you don't address these 4 challenges as a crypto, you will fail. This is why stablecoins are the future, not cryptos. They'll be the part of the financial ecosystem of the future, and it's happening right in front of our faces. Why? Because they're liquid. As simple as that. They're liquid. And they're part of a solution, not part of the problem. And they're addressing challenges and solutions. And infrastructures are being built by existing market leaders like we've been discussing. This is it for today, community. Let's come back and see through your comments. It was very important for us, community, to understand and to embrace what we today's topic. And today's topic was mainstream adoption and stablecoin infrastructures. So we see how indeed Ethereum is the layer of application, and that's where the most infrastructures are being built, not by just random startups, but by established, highly regulated market leaders in the existing traditional financial industry. They're building infrastructures on Ethereum because it works, because you can build your applications on there, because that's where the liquidity is, and that liquidity follows there. Asset managers, banks, governments alike building infrastructures on Ethereum. So don't let the price action persuade you. Look at where are large institutions adopting and building infrastructures on, and where is stablecoin infrastructure being built upon, because that's what counts. That's what counts. So that's it on our side, community. Let's come full circle and check through your comments, whether you have anything, any feedbacks or any questions that we can go through and answer. I want us to be uplifted and not to be swayed by, the noise we're going through in the world right now, but rather let's embrace and understand that we're in the right place at the right time, and the best is yet to come. Liquidity is about to flood Ethereum on all sorts of places, because banks, institutions are getting ready to issue their own stable coins, flooding us with liquidity. Established institutions with trillions of dollars in volume are getting ready to jump on Ethereum and provide liquidity. And we're going to benefit and make the most from it, because based on our ecosystem, we are addressing those challenges, meaning we are going to make the most out of it. So we have Queen Kenole, says, greetings community, Mama Wino and Mr. Steve, ready to get educated and expand our crypto knowledge base. Thank you so much, Queen Kenole. We appreciate you taking your time on this Labor Day and being part of these sessions today. I hope that you are able to take away something from today's session. We have Queen Beatrice says, good evening, community. Let's listen to our own professor as he is about to stream about mainstream adoption and stablecoins. Exactly. Thank you for the lesson. May the Lord bless you and our Queen Mother. Thank you so much, Queen Beatrice. May you also stay blessed, you and yours. We appreciate you taking your time and being part of this session today. I hope that you're able to also take away something from today's session. Then we have Queen Marilyn saying, looking forward patiently. Thank you so much for participating as well, Queen Marilyn. We are very humbled to have you here with us in today's event, and we hope that you're able to take away something from today's session as well. Then we have none other than Queen Debbie herself. Greetings, my Boron community family. Greetings to you, Brother Steve. And our beautiful Queen Mother. We know I can't wait for today's session. Thank you for your unwavering dedication on educating us. Thank you as well, Queen Debbie, for you and Queen Lati, for going out of your way and educating and informing kings and queens in your region, in your community, about Boron ecosystem. We appreciate you very much. You're very much appreciated, and your commitment, your consistency is going a long way. And for you leading by example, we appreciate you very much, Queen Debbie. And then we have Queen Val saying, greetings, my fellow Boroners, and our big shout out to our amazing developer, Mr. Steve. I'm so excited for this session. The topic is pure fire, and I can't wait to hear more. Let's go. Thank you so much, Queen Val. I appreciate you very much for your consistency as well. Your amazing topic yesterday on Facebook as well, that you usually host together with Queen Debbie. And we appreciate also, and we also look forward all the time to the sessions that you host. We appreciate you just as much. I hope that you're able to take away something from today's session as well. None other than Queen Mother Caroline herself says, greetings, Boron family. Hold on to your seats. We are getting ready to be blown away because knowledge is power. Beautifully said, Mom. This is exactly the thing. Knowledge shouldn't be underestimated. Knowledge serves as a point of reference, peace, calmness. When everything else around us is blowing up, knowledge and understanding keeps us level-headed, right? So beautifully said, Mom. We have Queen Val, is literally, for the new members, welcome to the Boron Live community session, and please feel free to join these communities. And the links are here, Boron, Survivor, and Killer Whale. So feel free to hit these links and be part of our community. We are a very, very active community, as you see, on various platforms. So we on, like we said, on Facebook, we on Zoom, we on YouTube, like today, we on Twitter Space, we on various platforms. We on various platforms. So be part of the community if you so desire. We are all about information, education. We don't focus on hypes and wishful thinking, but we lay emphasis on fundamentals. Queen Lati, we appreciate you so much, Queen Lati, along with Queen Debbie, for going out of your way on this Labor Day, where you could have been resting with your family and your loved ones. You took it upon yourself to educate, to gather and host kings and queens and educate them in about the ecosystem, Boron ecosystem, and the crypto industry. We appreciate you so much, Queen Lati. You and Queen Debbie, you are more than appreciated. So happy to see that you still managed to nonetheless take your time and be part of this session as well. Queen Lati says, greetings, Boron family. Another exciting moment to be taught by our none other than our developer, King Steve, and Queen Mother Winner. Let us embrace the new technology and adopt the stablecoin infrastructure. Beautifully said, Queen Lati. This is the future, right? Just like if we don't believe in the sun, it doesn't matter. The sun will still rise early morning and set in the evening. Same thing, one way or the other, it's going to catch up with us. This is why we made the example with Microsoft. Many didn't understand what Microsoft is doing. Many didn't even think they will need it. But fast forward today, 90% of the market, personal computer market, is using their software, their programming language, and there's nothing people can do about it. They have a complete monopoly. Same thing right now. People are sniffing of Ethereum. Oh, it's slow, or it's expensive, or it's this. It's not jumping up like Bitcoin is, and there's not a lot of enough meme coins like on Solana and all of this. Meanwhile, the real traditional financial institutions like Visa, MasterCard, JP Morgan, UBS, Swiss government, Swiss institutions, uh, BlackRock are building on top, slowly building infrastructures on Ethereum, while some of us are still complaining and doubting. Infrastructures are being built quietly in the background. While social platforms are leading us astray, they're busy probably piling up on Ethereum and building on Ethereum infrastructures. So knowledge is power, like Queen Mother Caroline said. Knowledge is power, and also let's embrace this technology, like Queen Lati says, and let's adopt it. Let's embrace it. So beautifully said, Queen Lati. Then we have none other than great brother Theo. Says greetings and happy Thursday, great brother Steve. Dearest great Queen Mom Awino and my lovely BRL family. I know you are going to bring the fire as always, great one. Thanks as always, great professor. We appreciate you very much, great brother Theo. I hope you and yours are doing great. You're in good health and that you're enjoying your day off today. We appreciate you for tuning in and being part of this community event. We're always thrilled to see you and have you in the community. We have Queen Patricia says, good evening, family. Good evening, Mr. Steve and Mama Wino. We are here again to learn from the best. Thank you, Mr. Steve, for your dedication. Stay blessed and protected always. We appreciate you very, very much. And we appreciate your presence, your leadership, your consistency. Glad to have you here. And may you also stay protected and blessed as well, Queen Patricia. We have Queen Resego says, good evening, family. It's yet another day of learning and being empowered. We really appreciate King Steve and Queen Mother for the privilege they've given us to be part of this amazing community. This community is amazing because of individuals, queens like yourself and kings like yourself, Queen Resego. So it's all about us as a unit, right? We're all just a small piece of a larger puzzle. We appreciate you very much, and we're glad that you're able to make it to today's session. Queen Beatrice says, good evening, community. I'm happy to be here to listen to our professor as he educates, inspire, encourages us about activities happening in the blockchain industry. God bless you and our Queen Mom. Thank you so much, Queen Beatrice. I hope that you're able to take away something from today's session. And we're glad that you're able to make it and you took your time out of this holiday and being part of this session today. Very, very much appreciated. We have Queen Mangai says, good evening, family. What a bright day today, waiting to hear from our developer if it's true that the regulations would be released on the 26th May. And what would they imply? Curiously waiting. Just like we discussed, that's a great point that you made, Queen Mangai. Thank you for your feedback. Like we briefly touched on it throughout today's session, I hope you're able to get that point. Is that yes, indeed. Actually, the word in the street was that it might happen as soon as this week, and the regulations, the clarity, these are needed. These are things that are very, very much needed for staking, Ethereum staking to take place. All the stablecoin, the custody questions, and the issuance of stablecoins, and then also clear regulations on what's a commodity, what's a security, and so on and so forth. Those are clarifications that need to be laid out. And those are the things, those are the items that are going to be laid out. And once those are laid out clearly, we already see how much products are being rolled out starting today throughout the month moving forward. We saw Visa, MasterCard launching products today, already launched products today. We even saw JP Morgan launching their products. And we saw new stablecoins being issued by large institutions as well. So these are things that are going to ease up and bring more adoption, even more adoption, and products being lined up due to these regulations and clarity. So yes, these are things that we can definitely look forward to, and these are the missing pieces to the puzzle, and to also trigger the bull market, bringing all this liquidity on chain, like we've been discussing today. Thank you so much, Queen Mangai, for your feedback. Then we have Queen Kube, says, hello, Boron community. Another day where we get educated by our developer, King Steve. Take us on. We appreciate you, Queen Kube. Glad that you're able to make it to today's session. We appreciate you very much. And I hope you and yours are doing well and that you are able to take away something from today's session. Hello, community. Hello back to you too, Queen Jane. I hope you and yours are doing great. Glad to have you in the community. When alt season, that's something nobody knows exactly, but what we know is that as we see, like Queen Mangai said, with these regulations being rolled out, we see all these products on Ethereum, financial products being rolled out by Visa, MasterCard, JP Morgan. They're rolling out all these products. We see regulations are being lined up and finalized, and details are being discussed in closed rooms, and hopefully will be rolled out as well. With all these clarifications, then we can really embrace and be part of this alt season. And are you prepared for the alt season, right? That's the question we should ask ourselves. Is our favorite meme coin or ecosystem addressing these four challenges? This is what we should be asking ourselves and get ready, so that we're not caught unprepared, unaware, right? So brother says, good evening, brother Steve. Thank you for the insightful lessons this week. We are so glad that you were able to make it, not be named. We appreciate you very much. Glad that you were able to make it in today's session. We appreciate your feedback. We have Queen Sawari says, hello community. It's always a pleasure to hear more information about crypto and expanding our knowledge and understanding on blockchain. Thank you, Mr. Stephen, Queen Madawino. We appreciate you very much, Queen Sawari. Thank you for taking your time, and we hope that you are able to take away something from today's session. We appreciate the feedback very, very much as well, and we appreciate you in the community. Queen Gloria says, thanks, King Steve. We are already in the future, as we see. Beautifully said. Absolutely. We are literally in the future, right? That article was 1.5 years ago, talking about stablecoins, not crypto, is going to be the future of finance. Here we are. We are seeing things happening right in front of our faces. So things happen fast. Once they start, they happen fast. This is why we need to be not caught unaware, but always be ready, always be prepared already. And it happens when we least expect it, right? If you anticipate something, you're looking forward to it, and it doesn't come. But the moment you stop for a minute and don't think about it, and it hits you unaware, that's how it's going to happen. It's going to happen really fast. Queen Marenia says, greetings community, always thankful for these very educative and enlightening sessions. Indeed, knowledge is power. Beautifully said, Queen Marenia. Hope that you're able to take away something from today's session. And indeed, knowledge is power. None other than Queen Mother herself is saying, greetings, Bullrun family. With unity comes the power of transformation. When one rises, we all rise together. That's the nature of Bullrun ecosystem. Beautifully said. There's really nothing more to add to this. Thank you so much, Mom, for your leadership by example, for always being here day in, day out, every day with the tweets and on Zoom as well, with the Queens every Friday and Sunday, not missing a beat. It's easy to talk, but it's harder to let your actions speak even louder, and your actions speak so loud that we hear your actions, right? So thank you for your leadership, your love you have for all of us, and your consistency as well, your commitment. You're very much appreciated. Then we have my great brother Abdullah. says, warm greetings to you all. Warm greetings back to you too, King Abdullahi. It's always a pleasure to see you in the community. You're very, very much appreciated for all your efforts, your leadership, also by example. You're very, very much appreciated, King Abdullahi. Then we have my Uncle George here. Greetings back to you too, Uncle George. Greetings, Steve and Queen Mother. Hope all community members had a good May Day. We are looking forward for ETH Spectra launch coming up on 7th May 2025. Hope it brings good tidings and breakthroughs. Beautifully said, Uncle George. Beautifully said. This is what also has been moving the markets, actually. We've seen how the markets have been really moving, and we've been up in anticipation, right? It's always like the markets is usually anticipating whenever there's such an event, but let's be on high alert. It might be buy the rumor, sell the news. However, we are very optimistic about the upgrades. They're very important because they pertain to staking, to how we transact with our wallets, major upgrades for wallets, and also how we're not required to have ETH in our wallets. But if we have stable coins, that's enough for gas fees as well. So there's major upgrades, like Uncle George said, that are coming our way that we can look forward to, that will bring major upgrades for the Ethereum blockchain that we can look forward to, and will hopefully really make the blockchain on the layer 1 level more efficient. We have Queen Tsupe. Good evening, Boran family, listening attentively. We appreciate you, Queen Tsupe. Glad that you're able to make it today as well, and I hope that you're able to take away something from today's session. Then we have Queen Dumi, says, greetings, BRL family. Thank you, Steve, for your commitment and dedication to the community. We appreciate you too, Queen Dumi. Always a pleasure seeing you in the community as well. We have Queen Kube, says, thank you to our developer, Brother Steve. Greetings to the Buran family. It's another day, dear family, where we are being educated by our one and only developer. Queen Kuba, you are very much appreciated. Glad you are able to make it today. We are humbled to have you in the community. Queen Jane says, hello community, we're great to have you, Dev Steve and Queen Mom, Awino, for your sacrifice that you always show to us each time we need you. God give you the provision at all times. Thank you so much, Queen Jane, for your well wishes. We give you right back to you as well. May all be well with you as well. We appreciate you for taking your time and being part of this session today. Your leadership, your consistency goes a long way and is very much appreciated. Then we have Queen Patricia saying, great teachings, our Dev Steve. Thanks for the steadfastness. We appreciate you as well for your consistency. We are just a small piece of a larger puzzle, and we're all just chipping in to the best of our abilities, contributing and to our little part, that now that we understand that it takes all of us, right, to succeed. Then we have Queen Aloshi, says, greetings, Boran family. We are so blessed to be in this ecosystem where Ethereum is a foundation. Thanks to our devs for doing their research well in developing the tokens. We wait expectantly. Beautifully said, Queen Aloshi. It always helps to take that extra time to understand what we're involved with. If you take your time to understand something, this is why we do these sessions, right? It's important for us to understand what we get ourselves in, because if you understand it, you can cancel all the noise and you can think rationally, and we're not led by emotions and sentiments, and we can't be fooled anymore, right? Or tricked or scammed anymore, because we have the understanding. And the takeaway of today's session is that let's understand that blockchain is a technology and an asset at the same time, and it should be used as a technology, and that the smart contracts are here to help us use them as solutions to the challenges. So What's the point of having the technology but not using it to its fullest potential to enable and empower the community? That's the whole point. So we appreciate you, Queen Aloshi. Beautifully said, and I hope that you're able to take away something from today's session. Queen Grace says, once again, thanks a lot, our Dev Steve, for always keeping us ahead of what's happening in the crypto space. Today's topic is very insightful to us. More health and strength to you is my sincere prayer. Thank you so much, Queen Grace. You're so much appreciated. Your consistency, your leadership from the very beginning, very much appreciated. You're always showing up, always part of these sessions, always participating consistently. Very much appreciated. Thanks for the feedback. Then we have Queen Esther saying, we are not listening to the noise, King Steve. Ours is a fantastic ecosystem, and we know it's just a matter of time. Thank you for the feedback. Beautifully said. And you beautifully spoke on the behalf of all of us, the entire community, that indeed we're not listening to the noise, right? And we know better. We're informed, we're educated, we're rational, and we see things for what they are, and we think critically, independently. And beautifully said. We appreciate your feedback. Thanks ever so much, our developer, Queen Mother, and Brother Steve. We thank you just as much, Queen Esther, for always consistently participating in these events. You never miss a day. You're always here with us. You're very much appreciated. Then we have Brother Joan Tao. We are so close. Absolutely. Absolutely. We only have to do it right one time. That's the beautiful thing of the crypto industry. It only takes one time, one bull cycle, and to go through it. This is why we need to be ready. We are ready, and we are active, participating daily. We are on various different platforms. Community, thanks for your feedback. We appreciate you very much. And I want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. For the Queens tomorrow, I wish you a wonderful session once more. I highly encourage any Queen that is new in this ecosystem community that is not part of these sessions. They're very uplifting, encouraging, and I highly recommend that you participate. That's where Queen gathers. And when Queens come together, societies, civilizations are formed, right? And for the rest of us, latest by Saturday, hopefully we'll meet again. Looking forward to it. As always, on our side, that's it on our side. And we appreciate you very much for all your participations and engagements as well. So be safe, be healthy. Let's stay focused. Let's remain focused. And as we patiently await, we are so close, like Brother Rantao said. And let's look forward to that. Brother Theo says, thank you again for another fantastic, exciting, and enlightening session. We appreciate all the hard work you do for us all. A great general salute. Salute back to you too, great Brother Theo. I hope you and yours stay safe and are healthy and that are able to enjoy today. We appreciate you taking your time and being part of this session as well. Community, I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your week. Till we hear again. Bye-bye, community.